quick little video this afternoon to show you how I've begun to overcome my fear of highlighting. The first thing I have found that's really helpful for me is to start with a 005 Pigma Micron and make these really fine hairline marks. I use the really fine nib and I put these little hair-like strokes in here. I'm using very light pressure and not worried about filling, but just to keep this edge a little bit ragged and very fine. Now I'm going to switch to the 01 and I'm going to follow the shape and do my fill-in. By following the shape and doing the fill this way, I get a nice solid fill and it doesn't look hatched. Now if we weren't trying to keep the video in focus, I'd turn my page slightly here, but I'm just going to turn my hand and just follow the edge there to finish it off. And once I have that as black as I want it, then I go up into where my little fine strokes were, and I'm using very light pressure, and I'm just touching in there and varying the size of the line strokes. And the last thing I do on these ribbons is just to thicken up that edge a little bit. I've also had some questions about how I shade. I used to have my students use their Zentangle pencil and put a line along here and then shade it out, but I found that a lot of them used very heavy pressure and actually scored into the page that way. So I developed a different technique. I use a soft pencil like a 2B or this wonderful Palomino Blackwing, and I have my shading stump, and I take a little bit of lead off the pencil with the stump, and then I touch in where I want the shading to start. Now this one's a little furry at the end. I'm just going to take that off with my fingernail. You could use a piece of sandpaper or fine sandpaper. And then you can just build this up really slowly, and I find my students feel like they're more in control. I'll just do a little bit in here. And then after I've got that little bit in, if I decide I want an even deeper shadow, like right down in the corner, I can go in with the point of my pencil and very gently, not shoving into the paper, but just really gently stroke the graphite on there and then smudge it a little bit. It's easier to build it up than have to try and figure out how to pull it back with a kneaded eraser. Hope this video has been helpful and that it's given you some insights into how I handle highlighting and shading.